Okay, this is problem number 71 on page 419. This is the honors vector problem with the forces. Okay, first, I'm going to draw these two forces, and the easy way to do this, and they also put this in the hint in the problem, is to lay one of the forces. They tell you force 1. It doesn't matter which one you use. You lay it on the positive x-axis, which makes an angle of 0. Okay. Then I happen to have drawn them this way, and we're trying to find the angle between them. That's what we're trying to get to. And I've labeled them U for force 1 at 45 and V at 60. I just randomly drew them at some angle. I don't know what that is, but looking at it, if the resultant force is 90, so I figured they have to be working together, so I'm going to point them kind of in the same vicinity instead of pointing them in opposite directions. Okay, so they're helping each other to get up to 90. All right. So we'll start with U is going to be 45 cis 0, because we drew it that way. We put it on the positive x-axis. And V is going to be 60 cis theta, whatever angle that is in here. Okay, and then R plus U is the resultant force. We're going to add them together. So when we use the cosine and sine of 0, we get 1 and 0. Cosine of 0 is 1, sine of 0 is 0. So this cleans up really nicely to just 45i plus 0j. And this is 60 cosine of theta, which I'm going to find in a minute, plus 60 sine theta j. And we know that if we're adding them together, we're going to add the two cosine portions, or the two I portions together, and then the two j portions together. This is 0, so that's gone. And the given part was the resultant force is 90. Now we just have to find the magnitude of these, using the formula, which looks like this. We're going to take the I portion, we square it. The j portion, we square that. Now the rest of it is just algebra. It's a little, it looks a little difficult, but it's just algebra. The hard part is setting this part up. And if you've been following along every day in class, this is not even that bad here. Here's the algebra. We're going to square both sides to get rid of the square root. So 90 times 90 is 1800. Now we have this thing in here. This is a binomial that gets squared, so we have to FOIL this portion out. And we get 45 times 45 is 2025. And 60 cosine squared is 3600 cosine squared. And then we have 45 times 60 cosine twice, which is 5400 cosine. That's it, FOILed out. If you don't believe me, write it twice and do your FOILing yourself. And if I square this term, I get 3600 sine squared. All right, if you notice here, we have a common coefficient here, common factor. We can factor out at 3600. I like that because I have an identity here, cosine squared plus sine squared, that's equal to 1. That's going to go away. And that's just 1. So I took the 3600 times 1 and added it to the 2025. I get 5625. We're solving for cosine of theta, subtract from both sides, and I get 2475 is equal to 5400 cosine theta. Dividing both sides by 5400, taking the arc cosine of both sides, and I get 62.7 degrees, and that's my angle there. That's my final answer. It's really not that bad. I think you guys can handle it. Okay? All right.